Hey all, today on CrossBorder, we talk with Luba Lomonosova, mindset coach, subconscious strategist, and running coach.
I am a coach. I'm originally from Ukraine, and this year it's going to be probably 11 years that we've been living in the United States.
Luba helps people unlock the power they already have within, breaking through limited belief, transforming their mindset, and achieving both personal and athletic goals.
We already dated with my husband, and we started talking that, we don't know what's going to be happening in Ukraine, and also meanwhile we are, still young. What if we can explore some opportunities abroad to see how people live, try living somewhere else?
With her unique energy and practical approach, she shared tools to program your mind, attract what you truly desire, and find balance between mental health and physical performance.
All of a sudden, we are moving to Austin, Texas. I didn't know anything about Texas. And
Right.
people say like horses. I didn't know much at all. But I was like, okay, United States. It was less attractive as it was for me about moving to Amsterdam. But I was like, okay, let's move.
Get ready for an inspiring conversation about mindset transformation and how running and mental resilience go hand in hand.
Came to Starbucks to get a latte, and I asked the barista, like, I would like a latte. Well, I said latte, and
Right.
then she looks at me and she's like, what? I'm like, I would like latte.
Right.
And she would be like, we don't have that. And I was like, what do you mean you don't have it? Like, there is like over there on the,
Right.
like, I can see it. Is it Latte? And she goes like, oh, latte. And it was
Right.
like, like just different
Right.
pronunciation. And then it
Right.
was like very funny situation.
Support Luba, she's a great friend. Support my project. Happy to have her on my show.
I have Instagram. It's livecoach.Liubov, Liubov.
Every immigrant has a story of love, heartbreak, and resilience. I'm Claudio Munoz. After 30 years in the United States, I created this podcast to share the voices that once helped me survive. These stories have power, they guide, heal, and inspire, especially when you're far from home or about to leave. I share some of mine, now I want yours. We are all immigrants, those who leave, return, or dream, because being an immigrant is being intense. All right, well, we're live. I have Luba with me today. She's a friend of mine. I know her. I know her husband. I know them through my wife. So I know them for quite a few years right now. And I thought her to invite her because I know she's an immigrant and she has an amazing story. And just like every immigrant I know, at different level, but they all have great stories. And I saw Luba, progressing with her life from the moment I met her until now. She made tremendous progress. She's also a runner. She's a coach. So she has a lot of things to share with many other immigrants. So I'm so happy to have you here, Luba. I really do. And thank you for saying yes to me to be on the podcast. So, anyways, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. I did my best with what I know, but I give you the microphone a little bit, and then after you introduce yourself, we go into talking and have random questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me, Claudio. It's such an honor. And I would definitely love to contribute with my story because stories do inspire, and we never know who we can inspire and when and with what we say, right? So, yes, I am a runner and I am a coach. I'm originally from Ukraine, and this year it's going to be probably 11 years that we've been living in United States. So it was interesting that you know me probably as a coach who was a running coach, but
Right.
then after some time I have transitions to more of a personal development field, life coaching, mindset coaching, And yeah, I went through different levels of NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and now I am a trainer of NLP. So I do see clients, help them, with a mindset, with personal
Right.
development, with goals. And I know that your podcast is about also a little bit about mental health,
Right.
and yeah, coaches can contribute to that as well.
Right. My platform is something I'm developing right now, and it's not ready. We're still struggling in the developing of that platform. But once it's ready, yeah, we're gonna provide, psychology, therapy, mental health services, coaching, and many other things. We have so many plans. But the podcast is it was a way that we found to start launching the project, communicating with immigrants, right? Because my audience is immigrants, and what better to have someone that is an immigrant and accomplish everything you accomplished so far, right? Because I saw your growth, I saw I saw you running and then developing into your coaching career too, your personal coaching career. So we're gonna have a great story here to share. Anyways, so let's share with people your very beginning. How did you arrive to the United States? What drove you to leave Ukraine? Right, because you left way before the war, so it wasn't the war that pushed you to leave. It was other, obviously other reason. But uh, what drove you to leave, and how it was when you got here? What was
Yeah,
the impact?
yeah. Thank you for the question. Yeah, so actually, it was interesting because in 2014, there is like something has started in, I believe it was in February with the Crimea situation. And back at the time, we already dated with my husband, now my husband, Alex. And at the time, we were not yet married. We were about to get married that year. And we started talking that, yeah, we don't know what's going to be happening in Ukraine. And also, while meanwhile we are, still young, uh, what if we can explore some opportunities abroad to see how people live, try living somewhere else? And my husband Alex, he always dreamed about living in United States. And then I guess he met a person who was also okay. Let's see, let's explore. I was open because not everyone is open to live in your country. I was excited, and we started talking about it, and he started applying for different jobs. So he's a software engineer. So in his field, it were some opportunities, right? And what was interesting that at first he got a job offer at Booking.com in Amsterdam, and we
Wow.
supposed to move to Netherlands. And I was like so happy because I really dreamed. I don't know. I was curious. I had some friends from Netherlands, and I wanted to live there. But then Alex went to his boss on his current job in Kyiv, and he said, like, I found the job. I'm gonna be leaving. And the boss goes, like, what can we do for you to stay? And he took it, I guess, as a leverage in a way. He said, like, okay, if you can move me to United States, because he knew they had offices over there, then I could stay within the company. And that's how we even interrupted our process that we already
Uh,
started, kind of like moving to Amsterdam, right? And then one of a sudden we are moving to Austin, Texas. I didn't know anything about Texas. And
right.
people say like horses,
Right.
I don't know,
Country life,
yeah.
the country life, and
Gosh,
yes.
I didn't know much at all, but I was like, okay, United States, okay. It was less, I guess, attractive as it was for me about moving to Amsterdam, but I was like, okay, let's move. And yeah, I left my job, I left my career, everything that I had there, and I was growing within my company. And yeah, we moved to United States without even knowing yet that we're gonna stay, because the deal was that Alex came to particular project, and if that project would work well, and if they would want to work with him, then we would stay. But it was like a big question mark. So we
Right.
actually, like, I left everything without knowing if we even gonna move there.
Right. You took a chance, you took a risk, and you know,
Yes. Yes, yeah, and it took some time, and then within like few months, it was official. He got a job offer, and we got visas, and we moved to United States. Yeah,
this is why I do what I do right now. It actually I enjoy the stories, right? Because I have so many different stories already, and everybody has some are very dramatic, some of them are not. Like yours, for example, is completely different than any other story, right? Not that it's better or worse, but people had different reasons. Like you guys were curious about knowing other cultures in other places. You like, the Netherlands, or after, did you say Netherlands or Netherlands, right?
Netherlands. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And and look, all of a sudden you end up in the United States. It's not what you were aiming for. Sometimes life takes you in a path that is not exactly what you plan, but you just follow that process. Just follow, you just follow the road, man. All you need is just I guess you just you gotta have the courage, number one. And then second of all, you gotta be an entrepreneur, right? Somehow. Because if not, you're always gonna be afraid of making any steps. So that's pretty awesome. So once you guys got to the US, you got to Texas. How was that like, right? Because obviously you guys probably didn't speak the language. Everything was different, right? How was that?
Yeah, it was interesting. So I actually came to United States knowing English, and I had English at pretty good level because I used to work in Turkey. I communicated with people from different countries. At university, I spoke with many international students. So I had a really good English. And then I took some, besides school, I took some additional courses, and I don't remember the name of the level, but it was like pretty good level. Uh, but the thing is, when I came to United States, to Austin, Texas, English is not British English.
Right,
It is
right,
American English. And
right,
then words could be different,
right,
pronunciation is different, and the way I pronounce words with my Ukrainian accent of British English, people wouldn't understand what I'm saying, and
right,
I wouldn't understand what they were saying. And with into addition, they had Texan accent, and that
right,
is one of a different one, right?
right.
So at first I was like, I had challenges in the stores, like in the grocery store. I would
Hmm.
come and they would ask me something, and I would be like, What? What? What?"
Right,
It's like I
right,
couldn't understand anything, or they wouldn't understand what I have to say. So then I
right,
had to spell certain words for them. And then
right,
it made me feel uncomfortable, pretty uncomfortable. I was like, how come? Right?
right.
Uh, yeah, especially it was like one fun situation when I came to Starbucks to get a latte. And I asked barista, or who they are,
Mm,
like, I would like a latte. Well, I said latte, and
right,
then she looks at me and she's like, what? I'm like, I would like latte.
right,
And she would be like, we don't have that. And I was like, what do you mean you don't have it? Like, there is like over there on the,
right,
like, I can see it. Is it Latte? And she goes like, oh, latte. And it was
right,
like, like just different
right,
pronunciation. And then it was
right,
like very funny situation. Yeah. So yeah, I started watching lots of TV shows, American ones.
right,
So it felt very uncomfortable. I couldn't really understand much. But after some time, I was like watching a lot with the subtitles and things. I Yeah, and it started getting better. I also at some point went to Austin Community College and took there was a fifth level, like a final level. I took like reading, writing, and something else. I don't remember. It was talking probably or speaking, something like this. So I took everything they had, the English as second language, and I did learn many things like about pronunciations, about how Americans speak, and it has helped me to relearn. But initially, it felt very uncomfortable. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine that my English was not enough.
Right, right. No, that's a true story. When I went to an English school when I was in Argentina. I went since I was 4 years old. So in the morning we were learning Spanish, and in the afternoon it was 4 hours Spanish, 4 hours of English. So and it was a British school. So in the afternoon we learned the same thing we learned in the morning, but in English, history, math, everything else. And when I came here in my early 20s, I also pronounced the English, the British English, right? And I struggled with the pronunciation. And I tell you a funny story. I used to have a friend from England, and we went to one of these British stores in Florida, and they love chips for some reason. In England they love chips, so he wanted to go buy British chips. So we got to the store, and the person working at the counter was American. So he was asking for products from England, and she couldn't understand him. And I started giggling first, and then I started laughing. And I'm like, dude, look, I really, 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 this is funny because you guys speak the same language, but she can't understand you. And he was so frustrated because, like, I'm going to a British store, they have an American person working at the counter. That makes sense, right? But look, if it happened to a native English, British speaking speaker, right? Imagine to us, right? It's a second language. But that was a funny story. I never thought that was a real thing, but it is. They also struggle. The same with Spanish. There's so many different Spanish that it happened to me too. It happened to me talking to other Spanish speakers. So it's a real thing. Um, how was the culture? So the cultural shock. How did you adapt to that? Was it hard? Was it easy? Were people more friendly, or are people more friendly in Ukraine? Are people more social in Ukraine than in the United States? How was that for you?
Yeah, so I think I was very curious about everything American, and people that I get to meet, like Americans that I get to meet, I was lucky. Everyone was like very nice, and they say that they have, southern hospitality, especially in Texas, and that's true. Everyone was like so nice. Everyone would speak, and everyone actually would say, you have such a cute accent. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, don't tell me I have a cute accent. How accent can be cute? No.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Uh, but mostly, I think mostly we had like Ukrainian friends, Russian friends who were like in the Austin community, and at first I kind of struggled like making friends with Americans, and I couldn't know like why or what was happening. So that was a little bit challenging and sometimes frustrating, because sometimes it could be misunderstanding in some communication. Like for example, um, that story has happened like so much later, right? But I think this is relevant. Someone on Facebook, we were having conversation about running, about marathons, and someone told me like break a leg, and I got mad and I blocked this person because I thought this person said something bad. But then in American, right, English, break a leg, it's kind of like good luck or something like this.
Right. Oh, okay. Right,
And I
right,
didn't
right,
understand it.
right. Oh, that's a real life situation. Those things happen. Living in the United States for so long, here you can tell a someone wife that is beautiful, right? Which in Argentina is not a common thing. Like if I'm going to my friend or a stranger, this just met, I say your wife is so beautiful, or your mom. It doesn't come across the right way. So I remember I went to Ukraine for the first time, and Julie had her best friend there. Say, "Oh man, you have some beautiful eyes. You're a beautiful woman." They freaked out. They were freeze, like no smile and nothing. I'm like, I didn't know what happened. So then Julie told me, "What was that about?" Like, oh, that's it was a compliment, right? And that because my already somehow Americanized, right? And I know those like it happened to you, break a leg or compliment someone. If you meet Americans, they will compliment you, your wife, your kids, anything. But it's just the way they are. It got nothing to do with bad any bad intention. But yeah, that's a cultural thing. It's a cultural shift that you're gonna experience, and you're learning as you go because you're not prepared for it. One thing is learning the language. Another thing is knowing the culture, right?
Yes.
That's a complete different thing. And that doesn't mean that in every English country, saying someone's wife is beautiful is okay.
Yes.
I know in the US it's okay. I don't know in other countries like that. But
There is a it, it could be different. Yeah. Um but yeah, definitely in Austin, Texas, people were very, very nice.
anyway, so let's dive into a little bit more into the immigration and the culture, right? So did you ever feel like discriminated by did you ever been discriminated by anyone?
I don't think so. I don't think. I mean, like I had some uncomfortable situations at work when I was working in a running store, uh, but it was. I guess it was still the problem of miscommunication because I wouldn't get the jokes that the my coworker would say, and then it would be a conflict. He would be mad at me, and I would be mad at him, and then it would be like weird situation. But yeah, it made me feel uncomfortable. Certain things could be because of the cultural things, because some things of the language barrier, the way they use yeah, like like those idioma, those like some
Right,
things that you know
right.
like you have to know. I still don't know all of them,
Idioms.
right?
Right,
It's like a recently I spent a lot of time. I had a roommate, an American friend, and the way she speak, I had to ask her a lot of questions
right.
because so many things I didn't know, because she's from Maryland, and I didn't get to speak like a lot with people from Maryland. And every state, have their dialects, things, and the way they speak. But I don't think so. That usually, most of the times, people were very friendly.
Here where I live in Louisiana, the Cajun culture, the Cajun English is way different than any other state in the United States. So if you struggle with other states, it's harsh. And you were here before, so I don't know if you got the chance to interact with the Cajun English, but very different English, especially because they pronounce different, because they have the original culture was French, and that French culture, which was Cajun, then eventually become English speakers, right? But they still have some French words, so the way they pronounce the English with a little French culture touch, right? Uh, so Luba, you say you struggle with having American friends and stuff. One thing is like Americans are really nice, right? They're very welcoming. They're not bad people at all. I think, but people being nice to you or smile or treat you good, it doesn't mean you're gonna connect with them. And I think friendship is about connecting with them, enjoying dinner and stuff like that. And I have many situations where I had some pleasant dinner with American friends, but it was just that, right? It was not a it was not there's not a connection, right? Like you can call someone friend that showed up anytime at your house and they call you how you doing, or you see them every weekend. I never had that kind of experience, right? I think, at least with me, I can say for what I observe in the United States, the very much to their own and their family, right? And they hanging out with outside friends, not as much. Which I don't know. Well, I know Ukrainian because of my wife, but Latin people are a lot more family, more friendly, we're more social. We like to dance. We like to, big food parties and spend a lot of time. And we struggle with a society that's just not really open to that as much as we are, right? Not that it's better or wrong, right? Because nobody has the right to judge, So for an American, it could be overwhelming to hanging out with Spanish. It could be overwhelming, and for a Spanish person, it's overwhelming to hanging out with people that are not that open, right? To socialize, as frequently as we do, right? Because in Argentina, a friend of mine can showed up at 10 p.m. without calling me and knock on the door, right? Uh, so was that the case for you as a Ukrainian that you felt like, I mean, obviously, you know, hanging out with Ukrainian because they were Ukrainian, obviously you know, it's gonna be better, right? They're gonna be more compatible. But is there anything like the way you socialize in Ukraine compared to United States? Is this you guys are more social, more dry, more quiet, like the Americans?
So I think first when I just moved to United States, I had I was still more Ukrainian, right? So I
Right.
would behave the way Ukrainians behave, and as again, I don't know about how would like all of Ukrainians behave. I know how I would do. But yeah, I think what you said about Argentinians, that it could be like that kind of friends that can call you anytime, can show up on your door. It is also common and could be a thing in Ukraine. um, I don't know if that was the case. I think when you said connection, yes, maybe it wasn't that connection yet. Maybe because of the lack of the language or expectations or something like this. But it was interesting. Like the moment I kind of let go of this idea and stopped focusing on it, I started attracting different kind of people, and I'm surrounded right now with lots of Americans, and with some I am good friends, and we communicate, and there are some who can call me anytime, and I can call them. So yeah, but definitely I think it is about connection, about learning the culture, and you know people have to have some common interest, right? So because people usually attracted to those people who are like they are.
And also, the United States is a consumer society, right? So, for what I learned from older Americans, it was not always like that, right? But as people were more focusing on materialistic stuff, working, 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 they go home tired because businesses are open 24/7. People working is a real thing here. People work a lot, and the thing with that, you get trapped into this loop of always buying, buying, making more, and spending money and buying more, and then by the time you get home, you're tired. Now, right? It's not really an excuse, but if you want to find an excuse, you could, and that's a perfect excuse not to hang, not to go out of the house. Most people tell you they're busy, but the same as you, uh, I don't have any expectations, right? And what that lead me to, because I don't have any expectations of hanging out with a lot of people, met a lot of people, talk to anybody. I have friends from different nationalities. I have a lot of American friends, very good friends. They like to be around me. They invite me to a lot of stuff. Um, but not having those expectations, right? It helps because sometimes they call, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're hanging out a lot, sometimes you don't, and it's fine, right? I think you got to accept that you're in a different culture as an immigrant, right? And that's the way it is. And then you can create your own reality. You can create your own reality with people that are maybe are compatible with you, might be American, maybe not, whatever. There's always a workaround to it. But cultures are the cultural adaptation is difficult, and it takes time, and you have to be mentally prepared, right? If not, people fall into depression. I see that all the time. My wife also struggled with friendship, right? She struggled, and I don't. But I've been here the longest, right? She has, she's going on 9 years, and I've been here over 30 years. So once another thing that I learned is, accepting the culture. It makes a lot things a lot easier, because when you fight in it, right? When you fight in it, you're not you cut up in the middle, because you want to you want to leave the Argentinian culture, but then you are in America. You can do that certainly at home. You can show and be proud of who you are and share people who where you come from, but just adapt and learn the American culture, right? And that makes things a lot easier. Anyway, so Luba, now you've been in the U.S. For some time now, and you guys, grow and develop a lot, right? So, tell me about your career, right? How, as an immigrant, you were able to overcome your obstacles, learn more new skills, and just like any other immigrant, we struggle with as an immigrant to become someone, to do more than just, I don't know, working at Walmart, for example. Not that it's bad. I'm not saying that it's bad, right? Uh, but you definitely push yourself to do more. And tell me about why the running, and why the life coach. Uh, why do you decide to do that, right? Why you push yourself to be more in another country, in a different country that is not yours?
Yes, definitely. That's a great point. And yeah, so when I just came to United States, I tried to apply to different kind of jobs. So in Ukraine, I had a really good job. I was working in an international company, and I was administrative assistant, and then later I was HR, human resources. And my career was growing. And then when I came here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply to Google, Facebook,
Mhm.
and everything, and Oracle, just the company with the big names, because I deserve the best.
Mm.
And I do know some people who did find those jobs and careers and build everything. And as a human being, sometimes I look up, they did it, I didn't do. And yeah, I was applying to different jobs, and what I found out, that I didn't get much of even feedback from the companies whether they received my resume. So, and I believe that they had like those when I was filling out applications, it was a filter like a university that you finished. And if it wasn't the university that they're familiar with, I would think that was a filter for them. Maybe it was another way into the companies, but yeah. And I didn't get much response from many companies. I did went through rounds of interviews with different companies and things, and even one company, I got like to the third or fourth level of interview, and then they said like they didn't hire me because they said that we had a conflict of interest because my husband was a software engineer, and they also were a software company, and I don't know if it was a case or something else, but the thing is that a friend of mine that I told about this job was hired the next day, and that was like suspicious.
Wow.
And it did upset me a lot. I was really, really sad about this situation, and it was hard to handle. And at that point, I decided that, okay, if you don't want to hire me, I don't want to be hired by you. I'm gonna do my own thing. And I was in my personal journey of transformation for weight loss, and I was getting curious about how to get exercising. And somehow I found about NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, and I started my journey as a personal trainer. That was a really hard thing to do because uh, like all the muscles, all the things that you need to learn, they are in Latin. And in Ukraine, it was like in, in Ukrainian language or in Russian language.
Uh,
And here it was like I was not familiar. I've never heard it before, so I had to learn it to memorize so many things and lots of terminology. And but yeah, I passed exam, and for some time I did personal training. And then I also started my started running along with my transformation journey. I started working in a running in a running store. So the whole thing started, I got into running community. And yeah, I started running. I learned that um, I used to hate running, and then once I found that, okay, I can run 20 minutes, I can run 40 minutes, and what if I can do more? I got hooked up with it, and got curious, like what if actually I can do more? And it's like in my life, I was never I never thought that I was talented with anything. And once I discovered that running is uh, gives me that joy that I'm doing something and I'm good at it, at whatever that level is. And it made me feel very accomplished, alive. And I guess running gave me a sense of community, and introduced me to people, got me so many connections. And yeah, so I got into running and started pursuing it. That was interesting. So yeah, as far as career, it's like personal training, running store. Yeah, I worked there for several years. And through the running, somehow I started reading books, and started visiting personal development seminars. And from there, I got seeded an idea that why working for someone else if you can, create your own something. And
right.
yeah, and that's how I switched the transition to online running coaching. And I did that for some time. And at some point, I was more into self development, and then I thought, okay, what if I can help people at different level? Because running coaching is just like a training plan, and accountability, motivation. Not everyone wants to do that. But then what if I can help people at the different level? Because what I've learned in my journey of personal development, uh, it made me feel more alive, more purposeful, and I thought that I would want to share with that with other people, and guide them with what I know. And that's how I also somehow in the journey I found this neurolinguistic programming. That is a very powerful tool that can be used in personal development, in achieving anything, in communication, in so many areas of life. And I started pursuing this journey.
Luba, you know that I did some coaching back in the day, which helped me transform my life. I learned about coaching going through a hard time in my life, right? I was going through a divorce, and coaching basically saved my life, to be honest with you. And the first thing I did after taking coaching, life coaching classes, I started working out, right? And I'm saying this because it's gonna lead to something I'm gonna tell you. Uh, and I didn't need anybody to tell me to work out. No one, right? And I'm going to work out, and I've been working out I never stopped since that moment. I could gain weight, lose weight, but I never stop. It's something I do uh, every week. And I used to go and work out, and I see people go and they start working out, they drop. Then they're working out, they drop. And I'm thinking the reason why the people are dropping, because they tell them, you need to do this exercise, eat less, whatever plan, but nobody's working at the personal level, right? That the life coaching that what they need, what helped me. So I think what you're doing is a great combination, because being a running coach, it doesn't make you a life coach, But learning life coach to bring your personal level to have all different experience, and it help you stay running, it help you stay active, it help you be an entrepreneur, it help you do better, right? Because there's so much more in life that you learn through coaching that a running coach can't tell you. That, oh, you gotta run, yeah, the training to run is all good, but being the motivation to do this is short, right? You start doing it, you run it, you start denying, you lose it, but then the purpose is what it would drive you to do something longer and eventually a habit, right? So life coaching can provide you that. So I think you have a very powerful tool for your business where I'm not just a running coach. I'm going to show you life and I'm going to show you how to improve your life. And with those things, whatever they do, running, swimming, whatever, it could become a habit, right? We go through the motivation, we get the purpose, then it becomes a habit. For me, running is a habit. I'm not running, training, because I did weightlifting. Also did running. Um, I'm doing MMA. I've been doing MMA for the past 5 years now. It's a habit. Not, it doesn't matter how I feel. I'm going to the gym. Um, and I not always feel like I want to go, but that's what life coaching did for me in 2013, 2014 when I took those classes. And I remember talking to you back in the day when you visited me in Utah. We talked about coaching and stuff like that. But at that time, you were a running coach, not really a coach, but we were having those conversations already back then, and we knew some people in common that I follow in coaching and stuff. But anyway, I think you have a great tool right there. That's very interesting. So if every gym would provide that, not just a training coach, but a life coach, people will stay longer because you can. One of the biggest failure for gym is to retain people. They don't stay. Kind of like psychology, right? If you go into a psychologist or a psychiatric, usually people do 3 or 4 sessions, and I tell you, more likely because a lot of people are going to find out. They want to find out what the problem is, but when you find out that you're the problem, people don't stay. That's one of them, right? Another reason is because people think that changes happen overnight. They don't happen overnight, right? You can have one small change today, right? But a bigger change, right? A permanent change takes years of working. Whether you're running, you're working on your mental health, whatever, it takes a long time. And people usually don't take more than 3 or 4 sessions for so I think what I like about coaching, which is probably one of the biggest innovation that we had in mental health is coaching, right? I know some psychiatrists might get upset. What I'm saying is I'm not saying that psychology doesn't work. I think in this environment we need innovation because in mental health there's not really innovation, right? The very last thing I think it was just um, coaching, and coaching be very successful because they start doing something that it challenged the normal, right? What people be doing for years. So um, and I think it's innovation, and I think adapting coaching or psychology, psychiatry into fitness, people will stay longer, right? It will stay longer. It's just that's always a feeling that I had. So I'm saying because I know you're doing this stuff, and I think it's you have a great combination of tools to help someone.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And it was interesting that you mentioned that I do remember when we were visiting you in Utah and we were having different kind of conversations, and I was inspired by your journey. And back at the time, I did not even have the idea that one day I would become a life coach, right? At the time, I was just looking at it as like, okay, this is great thing, and I want to learn more about all of those things because it was fueling me. But it was interesting, right? That back at the time you already had that conversation.
Yes, And I remember we were at this hamburger place. I can't remember where it was at. Somewhere in middle of nowhere in Utah.
Yeah.
And you were sharing the experience. I remember it was like old store. It looks like those store from the '60s, like hamburger place from the '60s. The decoration.
Yeah, I
I
remember it.
remember like a red color or something like that. But yeah, I also say, you can share this or not if you don't, if you want or not. But one of the things that I encounter after, like, just like everything, is sustaining something, right? Because I learned a lot of the coaching and stuff, and a lot of the people that did the same coaching training that I got. For me, I wasn't becoming a coach; it's just learn. I apply it in my life, right? As a patient, most people did not stay with that mentality, and I had been, right, but I noticed that it lasts me for at least 4 or 5 years, where I was pretty solid, and then after that, deteriorating. Right, it's like upside down. And I remember telling you back then, the hardest thing is just sustaining, sustaining that,
Yes.
that mindset. Because a coach is a normal human being, right? And you get this, those feelings where you think you're failing, it's not working for you, that kind of stuff. With me right now, I'm with this new project, and I had those feelings. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing it? But I try not to think like I did before. I get that tunnel vision. I try to, I just looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I try not to listen to my voices. But sustaining is the hardest stuff, right? And one of the reasons why I never got into coaching, life coaching, because people asked me to do it because they saw my changes and stuff. Because of that, because staying in that business, you have to stay on check, right? You got to check yourself, make sure you're mentally good, you're pushing yourself, and it's kind of hard when you have to deal with that personally, and then you gotta coach someone, right? So that's really really hard, and I want to know your opinion. But I was a chicken. I never did it because I didn't want to have the responsibility. But for you being a coach, it's a big responsibility to sustain, right, for so long, that the needle all the way up, right?
So that's a great question, a great point, and I'm gonna tell you something that I learned from one of the trainings certifications that I took, and it was a question on the probably on the first session when we were learning how to become from one of my first certifications as a coach. Uh, it was a teacher, Chloe Madanes, and then someone asked her like, how can you coach someone if you are not, I don't know, if you don't have everything figured out, or you are not all right, or something else. And she said this thing: if you haven't figured out something in your life, or something is not all right here, it doesn't mean you cannot do your job the way you do. So how it works usually is, when honestly, I have days when I don't feel right. When I feel like, oh my God, like, how am I supposed to coach someone if I don't feel okay? And I feel, you are a man. I don't know if you guys go through that, but
Oh
women
yeah,
definitely go through range of emotions. And then there's
right.
like one day could be like you wake up and everything feels wrong. And then you think like, how am I supposed to coach a client? And then, yeah, what I do, I use my tools, right? I use anchoring. I put myself into the state, because I cannot bring negative vibes to my client. It wouldn't be fair. Um, and I just, how they say, I wear coaching hat, and then it's kind of like I switch. I leave everything my personal out of the session with my client, and I bring my the identity of a coach to the session, and I do my best. And what I have noticed through those days when I didn't feel good, and I had a session with my client anyway, uh, I would end up feeling so much more accomplished and empowered after the session, because I feel like I have contributed, I did something good, and I have forgotten how bad I felt. So actually, yeah, it fulfills. It's just like when you start thinking about it, that you don't have it right, how can you do something? It is just overthinking. This is exactly what those voices are. But then when you focus, how can I deliver the best session for my client that they deserve? How can I be that wisdom and ask them the right questions? I feel like, it is my calling, it is my contribution. It is just, it is like, like my purpose in the world, because they hired me to help them, to guide them.
Right.
So it's like I'm stepping up, and then I'm forgetting. And it's interesting that you asked this question, because I literally even lighted up inside, just imagining how I was going through that.
Right. That's something that always took with me because I know sustaining that level of energy, that mental health is not an easy thing. Imagine, I don't know, I probably done over 60 podcasts already. And
Wow.
yeah, and I haven't I'm only publishing 4 episodes. I was doing 4 episodes a month, but now I'm doing two, but splitting them in half because people don't watch long episodes, right? So then part one, part two. So and and you know how can I be behind a microphone and interview someone if you're not feeling all together, right? And as a man, I go through that, right? And I was telling that to my wife the other day. She said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, have all these podcasts, and and it's just a lack of motivation. Is that self doubt or why you doing this, why you doing that, right? But sometimes you just gotta quiet down the brain because the brain it will betray you if you let it talk to you that way. But one thing that happened to me after I do a podcast, I just get this lot of energy. Like it hit me, right? Like I did it. I'm good. I'm great. It's done. And it happened to me when I work out. Like when I'm working out, I don't want to go to the gym. I My wife, if you don't feel like going to the gym, this is a sign that you shouldn't go. I said, no, that's a sign that I should go. Well, my
Yeah.
wife, my wife is like, well, I'm a woman. What do you expect? I said, no, I understand. But for me, it's a sign that I need to go. So when I go, I drive myself to the gym. And when I'm done, I'm like, man, I did it. And it's just that energy that come back to me. A feeling of accomplishment. I did something. I found myself. And the same with the podcast. I'm like, sometimes I'm have 15, 20 minutes and I gotta be mentally ready because I have a regular life like everybody else, have a
Yeah.
full job they had to deal with. And I had to disconnect from that before I dive into this. And I go in, I start talking to people, and it's the best thing. It's like it disconnects me from everything. I'm in the moment. I'm learning about these stories. It makes me happy to hear the stories. Some of them are sad, so I'm sad with them. But after I'm done, it's like okay, that's it. I got that energy. It hit me. It just hit me. I get loaded with energy, right? But
Yes.
right,
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. Yes. And even you saying all those things that you said just right now, it has reminded me and reawakened me. Because to be honest, it's like in the last few days my spirit is a little bit down. But
right,
right now, after even this conversation, I
right,
already feel so much more alive, and I remember my purpose, my why. So definitely what you are doing is so valuable. And imagine all those people who would listen to us, because
yeah,
they can learn from your journey, they can learn from
right,
my journey. And we never know who can we inspire or lift up, because we also need to tell people. And I am as a coach, I just see people, transparent, they open up to me. And the facade that they have, it is not always the true. Not that what we can show to the social media cannot show everything.
right,
And the other part, what other people perceive in their moods, and what conclusions they make, what they see. So the message is that no matter who we see anywhere, online or in person, everyone is going through something.
right,
And it is okay to know that people do that. even though they don't show or show.
So, Luba, my first, when I started with the platform, I had no idea I was going to start doing a podcast. That was not in the plans. We started developing the platform. My partner lives in Spain. He's an immigrant in Spain. He's in Argentina, lives in Spain. So we were talking about marketing and stuff like that. And, one of the goals of this platform is to save money to immigrants, right? Because immigrants are not the best pay, right? Some of them, 1% of the immigrants made it to the top, but most of them, they average and they don't make a lot of money. So I wanted to solve the issue of culturally connecting people with uh, uh, therapists from their own country and also saving in costs. Yeah, and I was thinking, how can I solve this problem? We had the platform, but marketing is going to be expensive. And I was in Switzerland with my wife last year, right? And in Switzerland, we went to a restaurant, and what you see in the restaurants, immigrants. But these are not Mexicans or Argentinians or Latin American. These are immigrants from Europe, right? And and I see them working, and I can see like there's a story behind those people. And some of them were a little bit more open, outgoing. Some of them were quiet. But I try to see through them, and I'm like, I need to know about. I want to know about it. They all have a story. Maybe they're going through a hard time. Maybe they're missing their family. Maybe they don't want to be working in a restaurant. And I was thinking, I need to learn about these people. I want to know. I think they should have a voice and share the story because most, what you see in social media, what sells is seeing all these famous people, politicians talking nonsense. But imagine that guy that's in Switzerland working in this little restaurant, maybe making very little money, might have a story to share. They could help another person working in a little restaurant in the United States. They can connect, right? And I'm like, that's what I need to do. I need to listen to the stories. I need to bring it to the light and create a big community of immigrant sharing story because I think all immigrants, regardless of the culture and language, we have similar things in common. My platform is about bringing people together. I'm not separating. People suggest me to do like a Spanish platform, English platform. No, I want everything in one platform. I don't know what the algorithm is gonna do. I don't know if TikTok's gonna let me do that. I have no idea. Uh, but that's what I'm gonna try. And try to bring you like your story, successful story, side stories, and bring it together. Being an immigrant is not a bad thing, and it seems like it's a bad thing in many places. We talk about immigration in Spain, immigration in England, even Switzerland, like it's a bad thing. This is just people that are looking for something more, right? They got tired of where they were, and they were looking for an exit. And they're trying. They're not stealing. You know, uh, they're not criminal. They're just hardworking people. Going to another country, try something new, requires a lot of determination, especially if you don't speak the language, right? And anyways, I just think that's what brought me to this stuff, and I'm excited. Even if sometimes I don't feel like doing it, after I'm done, it's good. So, but Luba, look, um, thank you for being in my podcast, for accept my invitation. It was a fun conversation. I'm pretty sure people would enjoy learning from you. And if anybody wants to, uh, uh, take some of your coaching advice or coaching classes, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I have Instagram. It's lifecoach.Lubov, Liubov. I can send you a link
I will
if
put
you
it on
can
the
share.
thing.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you for being here. It was awesome. So, people, if you guys need anything coaching related, even running, go see Luba. Thank you, Luba.
Thank you so much, Claudio, for
Thank you.
having me.
No problem. Bye bye.
Bye bye.